Hello, this is my second video, and yeah, I filmed already a few to get into it. I'm so bad at this, so yeah, but I'll try again. What I try to talk about is dating on the autism spectrum, and then especially being successful at dating on the autism spectrum. And I want to talk a little bit about pitfalls, talk about best practices, and where to source these interesting people that you could see as potential dates, or or just people that you like to hang out with or just get to know. So first of all, I would like to warn a little bit against generic dating websites for autistic people. They pose a problem. That's something that I've noticed myself when I was dating, and it was just the main reason for me to start this dating website. When you're on a generic dating website, the problem is that you're coming in contact with, let's say, I don't want to say generic people, because everyone is unique, but you come in contact with people who are not commonly on the autism spectrum. And then you start already a little bit out of sync, because you have, like, whether you like it or not, you have certain specific needs when you're on the autism spectrum. You have a certain specific way of reacting to things, which might be a little bit more direct than most people are familiar with. You might want to take much more time to get to know someone, while the general time span between like getting into contact and meeting is on generic dating websites statistically within like 5-6 days. So for somebody on the autism spectrum, that doesn't work. You ideally want to get into contact and feel comfortable with the person before you go to stage 2, which is meeting. When you're meeting with someone who is not on the autism spectrum, then it's most likely that you end up in a loud cafe, or like on some kind of in some kind of place where there's a lot of distraction going on, which makes it very hard to concentrate on what the person is saying and to come across as the natural person that you are, to be really yourself. So like you might have like a shutdown there and then, because like for one, it's like an intense situation, and you're in an overwhelming an overwhelming place, so it doesn't help you really. So yeah, and can be also like that from the start. You kind of like have to mask your autism, which is never a good idea, I think, because I believe that it's good just to be you, to show yourself, to be unique, so so that you can meet somebody who is also unique and finds you unique and interesting because you're unique. So just a little different. So I would like to say that it can be a lot of waste of time to be on generic dating websites. But of course, like if you feel like being there, or if you're on some, and just go for it, do whatever you feel is right. But I think that in general, the place to source other people that might be interesting for you would be more likely like better where you better on an autism spectrum website, autism dating website. So I think you'll have more success. There might be less people on them, but I think you'll have more success. I can of course talk about spsingles.com. I can't really talk about other ones. I have no experience with any other autism dating website. The only thing I know is from other people who signed up for spsingles.com, who were very clear about like what they thought about other ones, but I have no opinion at all. The The only thing that I really do know is that is from 2 news outlets that I was interviewed by that told me that spsignals.com is unique because I'm on the autism spectrum myself. The other ones are owned and built by people who aren't on the autism spectrum. So they believed at least that it was like a unique, that spsignals.com was standing out because of that. But just try anyone. I mean, it's about you finding someone. It's not about me like having a lot of people on the website, which of course I would love to have. Like I would love to see it grow more and more. But the most important thing is that you find someone that you can connect with. So just do whatever. What I want to address also is like, so you're once on a dating website, like how do you approach it there? What are the best practices? I think, for one, what's a very important good practice is to have a profile picture. To have preferably like a profile picture where you're doing something. Or that you're with an animal, or you're just like in some kind of activity. Like instead of like just like sitting there and like staring. That's kind of like, yeah, it isn't that attractive. It's better than having no profile picture at all. Absolutely, but I think it's best to have a profile picture where you're together with an animal, for example. This is also statistically proven that profile pictures with cats and dogs, they score very well. Profile pictures where you're showing yourself with like a special interest or with some kind of humor, they attract people. So that's for one, because that's usually what people see first, is your profile picture before they read your profile. Second of all, it's very important to fill out your profile quite well, quite fully. To tell a little bit more about yourself, fill out all the fields of the profile so that people really know what kind of person you are, what your interests are, where you are on the spectrum, which is also quite important actually for spsignals.com. What kind of like, whether you're a visual thinker or like, like what kind of, where are you like as an autist? Because that makes like the matching quite a lot easier, I think. And to fill out a little bit more about yourself, about your person. If you find it difficult, doesn't matter, just tell something about your special interests and just like be unique. I think that's the most important thing, but then it comes down to having contact with others. And I think that a thing that can be a little bit difficult for a lot of people on the spectrum is that they maybe overdo it a little. That when you want to get in contact with someone, that you are maybe sending like 30 messages and you're not getting a reply, and so you send another 30. Best thing to do is like study the profile. If you find somebody really super interesting, also on spsignals.com, like also if somebody hasn't been online for like half a year or a year, these people hardly ever get messages because they haven't been there much. But they do, if their email address is still working, they do get a notification of your email. They get the text of your email, they get to read what you're talking about, and if you're an interesting person, they'll go to spsignals.com and reply to you. So just find profiles, find people that you find interesting, that you really think, this is so interesting, this person, that I feel something with this. Then don't just send like, hi, I'm so-and-so, but tell something about yourself and go into that, what you're reading in a profile. Tell a little bit about why you found this profile so interesting, but don't overdo it too much. And if you're not getting an answer, it's like in sales. You try 10 times and you get 10 times a no or no answer. One time you get an answer, and there it can start. So just don't be disappointed when people just don't don't react. Some people get a lot of messages and don't have time to react to all of them. So, and others didn't get a message for a long time, or maybe they are in this different situation at this very moment. It doesn't matter. Just write, like just go into it, make a little project out of it, and write something interesting about yourself. So that's very important. Another thing that I want to also say is like, what happens a lot, I've heard, is that people start straight away about their problems. You know, like nobody wants to have like a problem person, like wants to be in contact with somebody who's like just like looking for a mommy or a daddy to listen to them and to comfort them, and you know, or maybe some people do like that, but most people want to be equal and want to have a nice and equal contact. So like to get to know each other instead of complaining about this and complaining about that and this is difficult and so and so. Then you start kind of like on a negative kind of level, and yeah, just keep it light. Just don't, especially in the beginning when you don't know each other so very well, just keep it light and easy, and be kind, be nice, and just show your admiration, but not too much, and just be funny. So that's more or less it. You know, there's much more that I could say. Also, take your time, be clear, like, yeah, be yourself. Like, yeah, and don't expect too much. Like, the more you expect, the more you get disappointed in general. So just don't expect anything, and just like have fun. Just have fun talking with people. Don't go with goals, but just go for the interesting, nice conversation where you can find this chemistry, where you can find this interest together, and that you can explore each other. And if it, when it stops at some point, like when it waters away, that means like, yeah, that means that maybe there isn't so much really to talk about, and that you have to find somebody else who you do share more with. So just keep on going for that, and good luck. So that's, oh, I'm kicking the tripod. This was my message. I hope this has been interesting for some of you and helpful. Bye bye.